Good morning and happy Friday to you all. Another week done, my goodness. Going to go through the answers to yesterday's work first. So, question number 8. Find and copy one word that suggests Malone feels part of the team of explorers. Now, obviously that does say copy one word. However, on the mark scheme, it said that you could have two. So the answer is my comrades. So obviously you'd feel part of a team if you were referring to that word, because we know that that means good friends. Question 9. How can you tell that Professor Summerlee is an expert on dinosaurs? So what evidence is there in the text that tells us he is somebody who definitely knows about dinosaurs or is an expert? So you could have had any of these 3 points. You might have had all 3. In which case you'd get 3 marks, so you'd get a point for each one of these that you have. So you could have had, he knows what the tracks are and that they are dinosaur tracks. He is completely fascinated by the iguanodons and the opportunity to study prehistoric life. So obviously you wouldn't want to go and see them if you weren't interested in them. And the third point you could have had is he knows that they are iguanodons and that they once lived in England. So he obviously has some knowledge on them because he knows that they once lived in England. Question 10. Look at the paragraph beginning. I had the same feeling of mystery and danger around us. Find and copy 4 different words from the rest of the paragraph that suggest danger. So there are more than 4. In fact, there's actually 6. So as long as you had 4 of these 6, then you would get the mark. So you could have had gloom, menace, terrors, pounce, lair, or crept. All quite negative adjectives or verbs. Next question. The mood of the characters changes throughout the extract. Find and copy the group of words on page 2 where Lord John's mood changes. So where do we know that his mood changes? So it says in the text, I don't know what anyone else thinks, but this place makes me feel very uneasy. So we know that his mood changes to where he's feeling uneasy. And B, how does Lord John's mood change? So different. How does it actually change throughout the text? So at the beginning of the text, he's quite enthusiastic, quite excited and curious. But then by the end of the text, when they've done some researching, and they've seen the area, he's quite sort of cautious, scared, anxious, a bit worried about what he is seeing and what might happen next. And then the last question, which would have been a 3-mark question if we were in school doing this, based on what you have read, what does the last paragraph suggest might happen to the explorers next? Use evidence from this paragraph to support your predictions. If I go back to that final paragraph, we know that they're talking about what they think might happen. So ready to pounce upon us from their lair among the rocks of brushwood. So they don't know what's going to happen, so they're quite uneasy in this paragraph. Now, obviously, as long as your answer refers to something in the text, you're not going to be wrong, because this is asking what do you think might happen next. So you could have said, I think that they're going to be attacked or they might die. The evidence would be these words here. So things like gloom, terrors, pounce all suggest that they might be attacked. You could have said you think they might get lost because it's gloomy, shady foliage, and there's lots of rocks. You could have said that they might be going to discover other dinosaurs based on what they've seen. So because it has words like other creatures, terrors, constant menace, so any of those. But if you haven't got an answer here, but actually your prediction would make sense and you've got evidence, then of course it would be correct. Okay, so today, now that's been quite tough, the work this week, and there's been a lot of comprehension. And you know what? Sometimes it's nice to just read. So all I want you to do today is I want you to read. We really are thinking about year 7 now, and we are wanting you to be prepared with reading. And reading really is the most important skill in your life that you need for everything, really. And this quote here is absolutely true. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Now, whatever book you're reading, and if you haven't got a book, then you might read something online, a news article or something, then have a look at a book, and I want you to write down 5 words or phrases that you've come across in your book that you might have had to unlock, or you didn't necessarily know the meaning of, or you actually quite like the phrase, and I want you to write what they mean. So we do this a lot in schools when I say to you, or tell me a word that you've read in reading or at home that you could use in your writing. So I want you to bank those words and take them, or phrases, and I want you to write down 5 that you've come across in your reading book that you're currently reading. Then I want you to summarise what you've read so far. Now that could be a page, it could be a chapter, it could be the whole book, you might be halfway through, but I want you to summarise what you've read so far. That should be about half a page, not a really short summary, because that's not showing good comprehension, but about half a page. What can you tell me about what you've read so far? And then just send us in a picture of what you are reading so we can see what the book is, and let me know what book you are reading. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to speaking to you all on Monday. Bye bye.